and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This. I am your host, the Todd Father, and joining me as always,
the experience that some call Jason.
CDO 113.
I didn't go over that in pre-production because I figured, it was in a damn line. Sorry. This week we'll be talking about how Hollywood tends to beat dead horses. Using, as an example, the latest Terminator to fail, Dark Fate.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's the third Terminator movie they've done that was going to be the beginning of a three movie trilogy.
Yes.
And it's the third one they've tried in a row that hasn't made enough money for them to ever do a sequel to it.
So, how long do you think it'll be before they do the sequel to this one?
I don't know, because the one before this one wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, Genesis, not like Genesis did well.
No, but it wasn't that long ago where
right.
Between Genesis and the previous one there'd been, well,
yeah,
it had not been a huge.
Yeah, they come out like every 3 or 4 years ish. I think
it might be more like 5.
I think your longest jump actually goes between Terminator and T2. Because once they started 3, it wasn't too long before Salvation hit and failed, and then Genesis came out and subbed.
Well, Hollywood, one reason they do so many reboots and sequels is they like known quantities. What I can't understand is not just Terminator, we're still using it as an example, is how it can fail and fail and fail and they keep trying.
Because they insure it. They insure it for a loss.
What idiot is giving them a...
But why does it keep getting greenlit knowing that? Because it's kind of like you said, each time when they did Salvation, they were like, this is going to be the start of a trilogy. Which, truthfully, if Salvation hadn't been boring as hell, there was a chance because it was at least going to tell... Salvation is the only one of them, out of all of them, that's different. Salvation actually had a different plot. It was John Connor as an adult, as a grunt in the human resistance, and you were starting to see like kind of the beginning-ish of the war against the machines, which at least was interesting. It wasn't the typical Terminator formula. Skynet sends a Terminator back in time to kill somebody, and let's be honest, after T2 with a T-800 there to protect them, a human and a T-800 there to protect against whatever the newest, lamest Terminator is. It kind of suffers from the same problem as the Highlander flicks. It was over.
Yeah.
They managed to push it with T2 because at least with the T-1000, the effects and stuff were so cutting edge and neat that it kind of distracted from the fact that even then that story was over. Mm-hmm. Because when you watch the original Terminator, Skynet sending a Terminator back in time to kill Sarah Connor was its last-ditch effort. They had lost. Skynet had lost. They were closing in on destroying the damn thing, and that was its last-ditch effort. Send the Terminator back in time to make sure that John Connor's never born. Well, yeah, that was it. It was over. T2, when you see the original version of it, yeah, it's over. That's all in theaters. Yeah, the ending wasn't like if you watch it on TV now. It ends with like a highway.
Yeah, they're on the highway.
Well, it's not even them on the highway. It's just the highway going by, and you get a voiceover, basically suggesting that maybe stuff's over. Maybe it's still gonna do this. Where no, in the original, you see Sarah Connor as a grandmother, and what would have been Judgment Day. She's there playing with the kids, and John Connor's a senator or something like that. You have a definitive ending. It was over. But because T2 made so much money, they went, the hell with that. We're going to keep doing this damn movie over and over and over.
We're going to take every penny it ever made and flush it down the toilet, make it sequels.
Pretty much.
And restart nobody wants.
Yeah, pretty much. And, with this one, they go, you would think they would have learned, because out of all of them, Genesis had kind of the worst buzz around it. People came out of Genesis going, oh, that's some bullshit. You turn John Connor into a fucking Terminator. Yeah, it's just complete and utter bullshit. I ain't interested.
Every one of these has tried to water John Connor down.
Yeah, Truthfully.
I mean, even Salvation. Yeah, John Connor was the guy that put the Resistance together.
Not
and
a
was
grunt.
running it. Yeah.
And
The
they had
TV
him
show
as a-
did that too.
What made him a grunt?
No, watered him down.
Yeah. They've all done that since 2. Nobody wants to give you just the flat out kind of
King
Arthur kind of vibe that
Yeah.
he has. The T2 Infiltrator novels that S.M. Sterling, I believe it was, did, at least the first 2, are excellent. They do a really good job of showing you why John Connor is a big deal. Because it's him post, whiny kid in T2, and, more or less grown, and you're getting why there's something special about him.
Yeah.
And I really like the character Dieter.
Yeah. You told me about it.
Yeah, Dieter was just nice.
Speaking of remakes that don't need to be done, I saw on the internet this morning that they're talking about remaking Scream.
Yeah. Now, not only redoing Scream, they're redoing The Grudge. Hell, you can see the trailer for the new version of The Grudge.
Yeah.
But at least you didn't have... Okay, with The Grudge, you had 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
And that was it. Okay, it's been a while. It's still...
Yeah, not long.
But it's still...
But those were at least successes.
And what I was going to say is, at least you can go, well, there were just 2 of them. You didn't have 18 million of the damn thing. You did 2. It's been a little while since you've had one. Okay, you want to reboot it. It's still Hollywood not being able to have an original idea to save their life, but
But it's not really being
the
a
horse-
dead horse.
the horse ain't
Yeah,
dead.
If the movies are successful, yeah, you're not really beating the dead horse.
like Saw. Saw, they beat the living hell out of that horse.
Yeah.
For a while there, that and Paranormal Activity, for a while it was every damn Halloween. It was Paranormal Activity, which was a good one. Oh, it's Paranormal Activity 2. Well, this is stuff that was going on the same night as the last night of the first one. Okay, I can kind of do. Oh, it's Paranormal Activity 3, the prequel. Oh, God. Oh, it's Paranormal Activity 4, ghost something that ain't, set in the barrio. They got shit to do with it. It's like, good God. Just let it go.
The only way they could have done Paranormal Activity in a long-running something, anthology. This was one story, this is another story in the same vein, roughly,
Yeah.
Because the term Paranormal Activity can cover a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the trick is they don't really. They were telling like an overarching story because if I'm not mistaken, I vegged out by the time I got to 3. But it was the girl's grandmother was a witch or something.
Yeah.
Who basically
some
promised
kind of or something,
they promised the first male child of the next generation to a demon, and you'd had 2 girls, so the one girl had a boy, and that was what the whole damn thing was about. Was the demon was trying to claim
Well, see, each
the boy or some shit.
my wife and I, we watched all of them. The cult, the one grandmother was the leader, but everybody that was in the coven each promised either a male child or a female child. So by the time you get to, I think it's 4, you got this house that's got all these kids in it. And you're like,
Of course, he's in it all.
yeah, hey, wife
Hey,
enjoyed
gotta
the
like-
first one, so we got to watch all of them. But it's like, okay, and then you see this thing and it ties in. I'm like, why?
Well, by the time, like I said,
And all
by
of
the
them
time
are done
we
in
got-
shaky cam.
Yeah, by the time it got to 3, it had lost the creep for me. The first one, hell, had me shook for a
The
while.
first one was neat.
By the time you got to 3, I was like, yeah, I don't care no more. I just don't give a shit. Oh, they were going to do the prequel to it. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all.
But if we're going horror movies, you've also got every slasher movie from the 80s that they
That's
eventually drug out
That's true.
way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give A Nightmare on Elm Street a little credit, because they didn't get where they just flat out sucked until Freddy's Dead is the only one of them that I can live in. The Dream Child. Well, I go the Dream Child. The Dream Child was like, yeah, I'm about done. Freddy's Dead just didn't make a hell of a lot of sense. And A New Nightmare, yeah, that horse was dead legit.
Yeah.
They get points for basically going, no. See, Freddy was based on a real demon. And when we stopped doing the Freddy movies, it pissed the demon off. So now the demon is running around. Because Freddy in that, yeah, is not Freddy Krueger, the character. It's the demon that Freddy was based off of.
Yeah.
So you got Wes Craven in it playing himself.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Freddy playing himself and Freddy.
Yeah. You have a Heather Camp running around. In fact, she's the main character in it. So yeah, I liked his claw in that one too because it was his bones. Yeah.
That was at least them trying something a little different.
Yeah.
As opposed to Scream, that was not a good movie to begin with.
No. But that was another one that they just kept doing. I mentioned Highlander earlier. Highlander was over. You watched the first movie, it was over.
Yeah.
They only did 2 more of those, but yeah, that was
then they did
that
a
was
TV
too
show.
many. The TV show could have worked if they
Did
hadn't
they only do
connected.
2? Cause
No,
hold
they
on.
did more.
No, they did more too because you
Yeah,
had
Highlander 1, Highlander 2.
Well, they did 2 more that I think were theatrically released.
The one with Mario Van Peebles came out in theaters, and that was the 3rd one.
Yeah.
That's what I
Then-
said they did. Well, 2 sequels. I mean, 2 sequels.
Yeah, because then you had the one with Lambert and Paul.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah, I think that was like made for Sci-Fi or USA.
Nope,
or
it
something.
came to
That
theater.
came out on theater. I can remember.
Really?
Von Yeah,
I don't remember that one at all.
I can remember Von Eschen going off about that one. Yeah. No, it came out in the damn theater.
I stand corrected then.
Yeah. Now, when you want to go with direct-to-video stuff, then you have like the cartoon, the Saturday morning cartoon, the anime cartoon. Yeah, they go completely off with that one.
Well, you can't do Highlander as a cartoon. I don't know why they even tried. That was literally another example of a company going, known property, we're going to use it.
Yeah.
Can we use it and it makes sense? No. But we're going to anyway.
Have we managed to do anything that's made sense?
Nope.
No. Because even the TV show, I know you're a fan of the TV show, but as far as the canon goes, especially when you basically go, yeah, it's in the same canon as the movie,
Oh, yeah, it don't work at all.
it don't work at all because that was the whole point. It was over.
The only thing that really connects it to the movie is the first episode, because Lambert cameos or shows up in it. And then at one point later when they're first mentioning the Watcher, or introducing the Watchers, one of them makes a comment about his cousin taking out the curtain.
Yeah. But yeah, that
Other than that, taken as its own separate something, as an alternate something, it would work. It'd work just fine.
But yeah, that was always my thing with Highlander. I loved the first movie, and it was, let's go Highlander 2. It was over.
That was another one, because you get a few of them where if you wanted to do a sequel to it, the sequel would have to be something completely different, like Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
It was an entire different genre of movie.
Speaking
basically.
of beating the hell out of a dead horse,
Much like Terminator, when you got past the second one,
they go
just stopped.
Yeah, they go to complete crap.
And they start. It's not that introducing new characters are bad. I think it's the way they handled them in some of the movies. Because like Prometheus, it goes back to the first discovery of the ship. Okay, I got that. Then what was the
To
sequel?
me, this was just a bad movie.
Yeah,
Prometheus was a bad movie, and then you had
I mean, it was literally
Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Was that last one.
that was just a direct. It was the direct sequel to Prometheus. But since Prometheus didn't do all that well,
It didn't have a whole hell of a lot to do with Prometheus.
yeah, but story wise, it still kind of comes in right behind.
Yeah,
That's where your main villain comes.
yeah,
from.
it's the direct sequel. It's just
But they put the alien back in the name, hoping that would drum up, more business since Prometheus didn't have the name and didn't do very well. But, ignoring the fact that Prometheus was a bad movie was why I didn't.
Yeah.
It was literally one of those where you go down the checklist. Every decision they make
was stupid.
they had to make the stupidest possible decision at that moment, or the plot just ground to a halt right there.
Well, speaking of aliens, then you gotta go Predator.
Predator, they at least managed to get 3 of them that didn't suck. Predator, Predator 2, and Predators are decent.
Which is the one where they're on
The
world?
The Hunting Preserve, that's Predators.
Oh yeah,
Predators was decent.
yeah.
Because it at least took it off Earth and put it in a jungle, and there's more of it. It had a little different feel to it. The little twist in it was actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It was not as good as 1 or 2.
No, but it was not as bad as either the AVP.
Yes. I did not leave the theater going, ugh, with that one.
Yeah. The Predator I hear is horrible. I haven't even bothered to watch it.
No, I have not seen
I'm waiting for it to come on TV.
It's one of those you sit there and go, okay, they took somebody's idea to make a Predator movie and filmed it. Having the two different Predators in it, the short one and the tall one, okay, they look cool. They did a great job. The Predator dogs.
They introduced those in the Predators. So.
The Predator dogs, okay, cool. Even their tech, great. The autistic kid that figures out how to use the Predator tech and translate their language on his own.
Done.
It's like,
done.
Why hasn't the government snatched that child up and used him, for that brain? Because in real life, if they give kids tests, and if the kids, may not have, be able to function as far as society's concerned, but he can crack codes like that, yeah, the government's gonna find a job for him.
But that, like I said, the Predator stuff. There's 3 of those I know I can watch. AVP, no, because it was PG-13.
Yeah.
Like you took 2 of the bloodiest fucking sci-fi series in history and made it kid friendly. Yeah, that don't work.
The second one had the violence level that it needed, but
The
still
story was
good.
god awful, and it was a direct sequel to, because that was the one where you had the Pred Alien that hatches in the first one. And it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You just took that and just stop. Yeah. But that like I said, that's Hollywood. They can't, if they get 2 good ones, especially if that second one kind of elevates the game, they gotta piss on it. They just have to. Aliens was neat. That next go round, the thing that kills it, the thing that was always so cool about the aliens, because you didn't know shit about it. The xenomorphs, you didn't know much about it, and what you did know was all horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Joker. The Joker doesn't need an origin. He's creepier without it, because you make up your own shit.
Yeah.
Well, you know this thing is horrible. What? Because it's going to hurt you, but not kill you. It's going to lay eggs in you, and then the eggs are going to hatch out of your chest. That's horrible. And if you had seen the first Alien and watched it go through a crew of people, when you heard the next one was aliens and it was going to be a ton of them, you like, oh shit. Everybody, yeah, they sitting in the army. Everybody there is dead. So there was some oomph to it, but you still didn't really know crap about it. Prometheus tries to come along and explain, well, it's a bioweapon, well, you gotta do this, and hey, I gotta stick my, hey, what's that? It looks like an egg. I'm gonna stick my face as close to this thing as I possibly can. How about no?
Hey, this thing just hooted like a cobra. Let's stick my face in it.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen here? Ah, shit.
Yeah. It was just bad. Let's see, what's another series that they do that with?
Conan.
They only did 2 Conans.
3, if you count the.
Yeah, the trick is...
I don't count that one as
really
being a dead horse, because they waited so long, and it was just a remake.
Yeah, Conan the Destroyer with Schwarzenegger. Hell, I was a kid when that came out. Hell, I was a grown-ass man when Momoa's came out.
Yeah.
And the trick is, if they had put more of what was in the book in that movie kicked ass. Because the novelization of it is great.
Yeah. And Momoa did a really good job as Conan.
Yeah.
He was just in a lackluster story.
Yeah. A lot of the movies that you see that's like, okay, they're beating a dead horse, sometimes it comes down to they didn't take time to, okay, we want to make a second or a third or a fourth one. Let's take the time to figure out why this is feasible, why this character's going to be here, why are we having this issue again? And then get a director that can, knows this kind of genre.
This isn't a series that I'm thinking of suddenly. But take the last few of King Arthur movies or Robin Hood movies.
Yeah.
Every 4 or 5 years they've been trying to do another King, another King Arthur, another Robin Hood, and they keep going.
One, because they don't really play around with the mythos. Like the last Robin Hood was, I think, the same dude that did that last King Arthur travesty, where Guy Ritchie, where he's trying to do like English crime drama mixed with the Arthurian legend. Yeah, that was one of the, hell, I literally went to sleep in the theater in that one.
But I'd watched something a while back. I wish I could remember the guy who did the video so I could credit him. But he made the point with that one reason he thinks that those had not been doing well is you have not had a baseline. Because every time they keep doing those, they're going to do their own weird take on it.
Yeah.
Which only works if you had a good
baseline one to branch
to kind of
off
remind everybody of exactly what's to it all.
Well, see, the Kevin Costner, Robin Hood,
Prince of Thieves.
Prince of Thieves, they kept closer to what was, what everybody knew of the Robin Hood mythos than a lot of the others that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it touched a chord with the viewing audience, and you sit there and you go, okay, they've tweaked this and this to make it more quote-unquote historically accurate, but the rest of it is pretty much the
trick is, hell, that's literally about the last Robin Hood movie you've had, period, because the Russell Crowe version that came out.
It flopped. The really superhero one they tried recently flopped. Men in Tights is the other one that came out that made money.
Yeah,
but it came out right after Costner,
yeah,
so you just had the baseline, and then you could do your little goofy version of it, and people go, oh yeah, that's funny. Where the King Arthur stuff, you've got to go back to what, Excalibur?
Yep. You got to go to Excalibur to have a decent King Arthur movie.
Yeah.
That's not beating a dead horse, that's just them not knowing how the hell to do shit.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Well, it's them they keep wanting to do their own special takes on it when.
And another thing that's kind of hurting them is they look at the MCU, and now everybody that puts out a movie got trilogy and shared universe in mind, and when it ought to be, let's put out this one and make it good.
Which is how Marvel started.
Yeah. And if you make this one and make it good, then maybe I can do something else over here. But when you come out, like the Dark Universe, we're doing the Dark Universe trilogy. The Dark Universe franchise. Yeah, and the Mummy comes out and people go, this damn thing sucks.
Yeah, because...
So now where's the Dark Universe? In a dark closet some damn where.
Well, you had that one, and wasn't that going to tie into that previous Dracula movie?
No.
Those were not together, okay.
No.
It tied into the Brandon Fraser stuff because you saw the books.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to tie into one of the Wolfman.
Nope. They were going to have to do all that shit over.
Oh, that's right. They were one.
Because the Dark Universe, the only thing, you had the Mummy, and then they were doing Benicio del Toro, or some damn body was playing the Phantom of the Opera, was going to be the next one, and I forget who the last person. It may have been the Invisible Man or some shit that they were doing. You knew that vampires existed because they had the skulls in there.
And the swamp creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, and you knew that Russell Crowe was playing Dr. Jekyll, so he was supposed to be kind of the connective tissue for all of it.
He was the Nick Fury.
Yeah, he was the Nick Fury.
As they slowly built it, basically the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't understand why such an original idea flopped.
Because they couldn't get the damn thing off the ground. And it's kind of like what John said when we walked out there. You realize the Universal monsters don't work modern day.
Most of them don't.
Because we got a ton of fucking guns.
Yeah.
So the Gill Man and all that kind of stuff, yeah, the Gill Man ends up a coat.
The Gill Man was dangerous in his original movie because they had a couple of spear guns. Tops.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe they had a rifle on board or something.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was one that you kind of sat there and went, what's going to do this? No.
Well, what gets me is how many of these that just casual viewer. I mean, into the nerd culture and stuff. But we're basically casual viewers, and we can sit there and watch one trailer and know that's a flop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see the trailer and you go, okay,
That's just
it's going to
a bad
start like
idea.
this, it's going to be in the middle like this, it's going to end like this.
Truthfully, this is going to be one that's beating the dead horse that may be a tad controversial. Star Wars.
Yeah, they've been beating that dead horse for a while.
They have... The Force Awakens pretty much killed that. Disney getting their mitts on Star Wars has pretty much just peed on it. It's...
Well, they didn't teach on it. They just flat. I mean, what's his name? Iger.
Yeah, Bob Iger.
I mean, read his. From what I've been hearing about
his memoirs. Yeah.
They just flat out admits. Yeah, they lied to Lucas. They, them Kennedy stabbed him in the back.
But that's one. And another thing I think that hurts Disney Star Wars, besides the quality, they hit too soon. Star Wars was an event because you had years in between them.
Yeah.
You know, you go 3 or 4 years between.
Now the prequels it was what? You'd have one, then a year without one, then the next one.
It was something like that. Yeah.
They were fairly close together, but it wasn't just one.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was spaced out like they're spacing out the current trilogy, but then the trilogy they're putting the filler movies. We're putting the filler movies in between, so.
Yeah, you would get. Yeah, and that was kind of the thing, is you wasn't giving it enough time. Because, like I said, for a while there, they were going to we're going to do a Star Wars movie a year. And it's too much, especially with the quality that you got. You reminding people of, oh yeah, it's a consistent meal. The meal ain't very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Transformer movies.
Oh Jesus! But Transformers wasn't really beating the dead horse, though, because that horse was dead when it showed up.
Yeah.
You watch Transformers 1. Transformers 1 is a piece of crap. 2, yeah, it goes downhill, but you know, it's it's
the 1 and 2
further downhill.
The 1 and 2 still made money.
Well, they made money all the way until the one right before Bumblebee.
The one
Last night or whatever it was.
Yeah, last night. That was the one that, finally the bottom just fell out from under it. But as far as quality, it was just explosions. Yeah, we got explosions. We got explosions and a jumble of robot parts. But there wasn't nothing. I put it like this. When I went and saw that $15 ticket re-showing of the 1987 cartoon, there were more people in that theater. Shit, to have the live action one match it, the only one that we went to that was that crowded was the first one. That damn thing was standing room only.
Well, you're talking about the 87. When
Yeah,
it
Transformers the
out,
movie.
When it came back out, you paid $15 for it. I was watching some guy on Facebook talk about it, and he lived in L.A. and he said the theater that he went to had 3 theaters at the thing showing it, and they were all booked out, and they showed it for like a week, and every day it was booked out. And he said he's never seen a movie, Titanic, when you had the big Titanic, all the women want to go see Titanic. He's maybe that booked out like that. He said, but this is a cartoon from 1987, and you got a bunch of geeks and nerds going, or they're carrying their kids. This is what Daddy grew up with.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you had
and
in the
he
thing
said,
I was in.
If they had done the Michael Bay Transformers based on the look and the feel of that, he said they would.
Oh, don't tell him.
If they'd done Bumblebee, if they had gotten as close to Gen 1 Transformers as Bumblebee, because, we were sitting there with Patrick and was like, the first 5 minutes of this is better than any damn movie he's done.
Yep.
I'd rather sit here and watch this than any of the rest of that shit.
Yep.
If he'd done that, they could have. If he thinks he made money, they could have literally printed money.
Yeah.
Because that Gen 1 is the only version of Transformers that's popular.
Hasbro could have had their shared universe by now.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Because that was another company that wanted their shared universe.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if Cena had turned out to be Duke, I wouldn't have been mad at it, because I went in there sick and tired of their version of Transformers, and I like Bumblebee, because that was the first one I could go into and go, shit, that's Wheeljack. Shit, Optimus Prime looks right. My God, it's Soundwave. It's Ravage. It's recognizable Ravage. Why haven't you given me this for the past fucking 10 years?
Yeah, my wife, who she likes horror movies, but as far as like cartoons, she watched Strawberry Shortcake. She was a girl. But when we watched
Always? What?
Ass.
She was a girl. What?
When she was a little kid, teen, she knew who the Transformers were. It's not like her and her little girlfriends watch the Transformers, but if they, like she was over at one of her friend's house and the brother was watching Transformers. No, that's Transformers.
She was passingly aware of it.
She was passingly aware of them. When we watched the first couple of Transformers, she just watched them because it was an action movie. When we watched Bumblebee, she was like, "Hey, it's the one that's a VW Bug," or she knew who he was.
The names didn't mean anything to her. The baby.
But what they looked like and what they turned into did. Shocking.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'm about to put superhero movies on the list. It ain't dead. They ain't dead yet. But I got the feeling that they on the downward slope. I'm betting you that we do this 2 or 3 years from now, I'll be able to say that and it won't be controversial at all.
I don't think it's
You can say it
controversial.
Yeah, the Marvel movies have not started dipping yet. Not really. I mean, what was the last Marvel movie released? Homecoming? Not Homecoming.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Far from
Which has made $1 billion
Yeah.
worldwide. So no, I suspect with what they've got planned that you're going to see a big dip. Now, if you wanted to say just DC,
But the thing is, if I said just DC has actually been on the upswing.
Thanks to Aquaman.
that's true.
Wonder Woman
Was passably watchable.
Aquaman was
good.
a success. Joker's getting close to $1 billion. I can't explain why.
I was not thinking about Joker simply because it's not part of the kind of cinematic, the shared universe. It was always kind of its own.
I think the shared universe is dead, though. I think the DCEU as a concept is pretty much dead.
It's possible.
Because the Batman, I don't think the Batman's got jack squat to do with
Maybe.
Affleck's. I don't think that's Affleck's Batman.
Which is probably better for him to concentrate on trying to make a good movie. Though I don't think the Batman's going to make it. No. Just based on how much casting they're doing.
Blaspheme.
Yeah, and we're getting off subject. So we've got all these guys, all these franchises where they're beating a dead horse. What stops, say, James Bond or Star Trek from being there?
One, because they space them out enough, and each one of them is different. Sean Connery's James Bond ain't the same as Daniel Craig's James Bond, ain't the same as Roger Moore's James Bond. You'll have these.
They each have a different flavor to them.
Yeah, you'll have these bricks of them, and when the brick starts to get old, they shit can it. Look at Pierce Brosnan's. Everybody was hyped for his, and then his movies came out, and hell, they pretty much sucked.
I hear GoldenEye was really good.
GoldenEye was decent, and they go.
What was the one with the newspaper?
I think that's The World Is Not
Chinese
Enough.
agent. Yeah. I liked that one, alright. Then the one after that with Halle Berry got.
Die Another Day. Die Another Day was.
I mean, I like the Asian guy half converted to a white guy with diamonds in his face just because that was kind of
because he felt very Bond villain.
Yes, he felt very much like a Bond villain lieutenant.
The thing I like about the Daniel Craig when they started with him, it felt more like the old school Ian Fleming books.
Well, yeah,
because in the books, Bond sometimes gets his ass kicked. He'll eventually win, but like you have one of the books I can remember reading where the bad guys catch him and they beat the crap out of him, and it ain't like I'm back up ready to fight in 5 minutes. He has to go convalesce, and when in one of the Craig movies they catch him and they strap him to that chair and they torture him, and every guy in the theater that was watching went,
yeah. That was the wince moment of that.
Now, let's give Pierce Brosnan's run some credit. That last one he did, they catch him before the credits, and you see them torturing him all through the credits.
Yeah.
The trick is, the feel of Craig's was different because it was a lot less cartoony.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and when he got in a fight, he looked like somebody had been in a fight when it was over.
Where if you look toward the end of his stuff as he's becoming the James Bond you recognize, he's starting to have that same problem. I'm walking across buildings as they're collapsing, and my suit don't even get ruffled, and you start losing it. The thing that was making his run neat is you could tell the producers went, shit, the Bourne Identity's making all this damn money doing gritty spy shit. Hell, we got the fucking granddad of all gritty spies. What the hell are we doing?
Yeah. Talking about, franchises. You got the Bourne franchise. They did the first two with the same actor. My brain's blanking on his name right now.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. The third one, they went Jeremy Renner. The fourth one, they come back. But the universe is all tied together. And right now, Sci-Fi's got Treadstone, which I've been watching. It does tie in. You sit there and you go, oh crap, this has been going on for a while. You know, a lot. It's further back than Treadstone. And I got to thinking about it. There's a scene in one of the Matt Damon movies where, a computer thing opens up a file and you've got all these subfolders and they've got all these names on it, and they're talking in the Treadstone show. They're talking about not just Treadstone, but Blackbriar, Cicada, and they even mention another one. And then you're sitting there going, "How many of these agents did y'all make? You realize they're batshit crazy. What part of batshit crazy don't you understand?"
As long as they're useful for a little while. I mean, look at real history. How many monsters have we, as the U.S. made to deal with one little problem, and then they become the next problem you got to deal with?
Yeah, that's true.
Lethal Weapon did real well. They managed to crank out 4, with only one of them kind of sucking.
Yeah. Which one was that?
3.
3. Okay.
3 is the shakiest of them, but they came back hard with 4.
Yeah,
because 4 was the one with Jet.
And then they kind of went, okay, we're done.
Yeah, and they went, hey, we're all getting old. Shit, it's over. And that's what Hollywood don't learn, is sometimes the story's over.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It's over.
They relaunched it though with the TV show, and it was doing good until the actor that was playing the Mel Gibson part actually, I think, kind of went a little bit nuts, because he was like, I think he got.
I think he may have always been hard for them to work with,
and they were looking for a reason to get rid of him. The trick is, I never count the TV show as that kind of, because with me, I enjoyed 1, 2, 3. Well, I enjoyed 1 and 2. I watched 3. I enjoyed 4. And when you watch 4, it's over.
Yeah. Well, the series was basically a reboot anyway. That was not
the series was
trying to continue the previous story. It was like the Conans.
But yeah, that's one of those kind of things where it's like, well, that's not really. But,
all right, I'll give you one. I don't know necessarily if they beat a dead horse, but they brought an old horse out, put a new spin on it, and then you find out, oh, the new horse is related to the old horse. The Shaft movies. The last one where,
ain't seen the last one.
Yeah, I've not seen the last one.
I've heard good things about it, but it's one of those kind of things where, to me, from the trailers, it felt too, I'm gonna get you, sucker, and Shaft ain't funny. You go watch Richard Roundtree Shaft, or Shaft in Africa, or something like that. Shaft ain't funny. Shaft is serious as a fucking heart attack.
The first one with
Sam Jackson
is...
It's got funny parts, but that movie
it is not a comedy.
Well,
and that's what turned me off watching the trailer was, that looks like a comedy. And he's referring to Roundtree as his dad when it was his uncle. So it's not really a continuation or a sequel.
Yeah, they pulled that out of their ass.
Yeah. But they, in the movie, that you have serious parts, but you have some moments that turn kind of funny, because it's like Samuel L. Jackson is, the same Samuel, or the same Shaft that you got in the first 2 movies. He don't give a flying.
This was the second movie he was in.
Yes. I thought they did another.
No. Richard Roundtree did at least 2. May have done 3. Sam had just done the John Singleton one from the early aughts, and then this was kind of like the sequel-ish to that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I was thinking they had done 2.
And from the trailer, this one was a comedy.
Yeah.
This was an action comedy.
Every damn thing I saw that, I was sitting there going, I saw that when it was I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Undercover Brother, all that. You just sticking a Shaft name on it. And then when it was oh, Dad, I was like, that ain't even a direct sequel to the last one, because that was his uncle.
Yeah. Well,
it was Uncle John.
They make a comment in the movie about, now that you quit calling yourself, you quit lying to me about being my father, and you know.
Oh, good God. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Now I'm sure I will never watch it.
Yeah, now that just took it to hell. I'll see it when it comes on TV. Sweet God, you can't have my money.
Alright, we got any more good examples?
Of beating a dead horse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty out there.
Yeah, and Hollywood will give you more and more every day. Hey, we're going to remake this. Oh, God.
Well, you got the Jason and Michael Myers movies.
Well, I mentioned all the slasher movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, every slasher.
Halloween was done after 2.
Yeah.
I can't think of one after that was really any good. Not that I have seen them all. Full disclosure.
Out of the first batch, no. One and 2 were good. I truthfully wish 4 had been the continuation of 3, like it was supposed to be, because the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger. Anytime I see that one, it bothers the hell out of me.
That's one where they yanked the dude out of the jail cell, ain't it?
Silver Shamrock. It's the
Michael Myers isn't involved.
Yeah, he's not involved in that at all.
They were going to do two movie.
That's right.
Because that's the thing, is Halloween was supposed to be a 2-movie anthology. So when Michael Myers blows up in the hospital at the end of 2, yeah, no.
Yeah.
In fact, hell, it's the same night. Halloween was the night he came home. That was it for that one. Then Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch. And it's the one where you got the Silver Shamrock Company, and they're basically they're the most popular Halloween mask in the country, and yeah, it's gonna fuck the kids all up, kill them and shit, yeah. And it ends basically with the commercial that's supposed to kickstart the masks coming on, and the movie goes off. So it ends on a cliffhanger. So you don't ever know how in the hell that ends. But it didn't do well because they didn't let people know beforehand Halloween's supposed to be an anthology, and this shit ain't got nothing to do with the last 2. So when people went to go see it, it's like, ain't got nothing to do with no damn Michael Myers. It's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And it killed the franchise for a while. Because hell, I was up a teenager by the time they did Halloween 4: Return of Michael Myers. And they wanted to let you know, hey, Michael Myers is in this one.
Yeah.
Behold his name.
Yeah, and then it just went ka-thump, 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 ka-thump. Those didn't get interesting again until the first one of Rob Zombie.
Yeah, Rob Zombie's first one was good.
Yeah.
2 is unwatchable.
Yeah.
The first 15, 20 minutes of it, it's basically a remake of the original Halloween 2, and then it goes, and that Joker took a hit of acid or something, because it goes
straight House of a Thousand Corpses, that thing.
It goes weirder than that.
Yeah.
It's a whole hell of a lot less coherent than House of a Thousand Corpses. You have his mom and fucking white horses and his like acid trips and all kinds of shit. I tried to watch it twice. I can't get through. I can't get through the middle of it.
What did you think of the one that came out with Jamie Lee Curtis a year or so ago, where they basically went, okay,
They brought her back twice, so
yeah, but this one, when it comes back, you got Halloween 1 and supposedly this one. Everything else in between.
Yeah,
didn't
nothing else
happen.
happened. Yeah, I ain't seen that one because it was like I couldn't get past. The thing that hurts me with that is the same thing that kind of hurts me with Sarah Connor in Dark Fate. That character dead. They killed Jamie Lee Curtis's ass, and wasn't the one right after H2O. Yeah, they killed her up at the beginning of the damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no, it didn't happen. Now she's back. And that's beating an old horse.
yeah.
It's over. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Well, we're gonna take this all the way back to this. Well, if you're gonna do that, then I can stop it at 2, because it was over at 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one that I kind of. I'm sick of those movies. Kind of sick of Spider-Mans. I know they're gonna keep doing them, but I'm kind of tired because they keep retreading the same shit. And I think that's what kind of. It's not the kind of. Here's the thing, like I was saying, I like Lethal Weapon. Yeah, technically they're all kind of the same movie, but with them being cops, you can have different bad guys, and you pull it, and the bad guy can be different, so it makes the movie feel different. Mm-hmm. This dude's ex-Vietnam psycho. The next movie that you watch, he was a psycho drug trailer. The next dude is a South African piece of shit. The next one is a dirty cop. The next one's the triad. So each one of those movies feels different. Where if you go Terminator, like I said, other than Salvation, it's all the same damn movie.
Yeah.
It's Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah. It's sentient AI from the future sends back Terminator to kill blah blah. And then they chase them all around for the rest of the movie, and then the Terminator loses. yeah, I don't care. I've seen that movie before. And Spidey's starting to feel like it to me because it's, you know, how many damn times, because you know before it's over the Green Goblin's going to pop up. How many damn times are we going to see the Green Goblin? How many damn times are you going to run through this whole damn thing? It's getting old.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't come up with a fresh villain or something that was interesting, because even the MCU stuff don't feel like Spider-Man. It still feels like Sony. It feels like Sony's put out, what, 6, 7 fucking Spider-Man movies now? And it's like, well, now we're going to put Venom in it. Yeah, I saw Venom. Spider-Man don't even work in that. The way you've done that, the only thing you can do is shoehorn him in there, and then it don't work.
Yeah. Since he's Venom's whole motivation.
Yeah.
Early on, at least.
Yeah. You know, you've already, you know, he didn't deal with anti-hero Venom. He dealt with, you know, an alien that had been attached to him that was in love with him. That was the whole point. You know, so it's...
So it's starting to feel like the whole...
Yeah, it's starting to feel like... Yeah,
it's... No, beat a dead horse.
Yeah, it's because they're not different. They're not different enough for you to care. You know, they go, well, Far From Home made $1 billion. Yeah, but it made $1 billion because they went, if you want to know how Endgame really ends, you got to go watch this, and you get there, and you totally could have been satisfied with the end of Endgame without any damn thing to do with Spider-Man. You know, it's... Even when you go, well, they did a kick-ass version of Mysterio. But yeah, that's really like saying you made a less stinky turd. It's Mysterio.
See, I look at Mysterio as the highlight of that movie. Because what else are you there for? Spidey's not funny. Truthfully, it messes up Tony Stark's character because he left this killer satellite for a child.
Yeah. That
he wouldn't have known was going to be... I mean, it introduces plot holes.
Yeah, that's true.
For, you know, no reason.
And then you have the big twist ending. Everybody knows who Peter Parker is, which makes him exactly like every other goddamn hero in the MCU. Nobody has a fucking secret identity.
Yep.
So unless you gonna murk Aunt May in the next one, I don't care. There's no consequences to it. Oh, now he's got to go to school and people knows he's Spider-Man. Which just made him the coolest motherfucker in school. Because his schoolmates love Spider-Man. The one half-ass villain he had, Flash, is a Spider-Man groupie. So now you've gone from Penis Parker to Can I See Your Penis Parker?
Okay, now we're going off the rails.
Yeah. So I guess that means it's over.
We want to stop before we start beating a dead horse.
I think we already did.
Then that makes us just like everybody else. Give me $1 million. So anyway, that's been our show for this week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. If you're old like us and crotchety and don't like any damn thing these young folks are doing these days, you know, hit us up. If you need Danny to come by and tell the young folks to, you know, stay out of your damn yard, it ain't beneath us.
No, it's not.
It's not for the right price.
For a small but noticeable fee.
$1. You do it for $1. Just to get out of the house. So anyway, I've been your host, the Todd Father, and joining me as always,
The experience some call Jason.
CDO 113.
catch you later. Peace.
Peace.